So this rolls into a fun topic that I want to do. We could have closed with this, but we're not going to close with this. We're going to get into something we like to call this is a new game we're going to play.
Might replace top 5.
Might replace.
It is definitely replacing top 5 this week because
definitely.
We
don't have a top 5. Underrated, overrated, or properly rated. Since you're starting, since we're talking about s'mores, it wasn't even on my list, but we could start with s'mores. Underrated, overrated, or properly rated.
For me personally, overrated.
Overrated.
For all the reasons I just said. I love all the contents of it, but together I just don't think it's a good combination of stuff.
Right.
But it's a weird thing. I mean, I understand why people like it, but to me, they're just overrated. They're not for me, is how I want to say it.
I think for me, it's a nostalgia thing. It's not underrated. Like, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm gonna say properly rated, but like, it's definitely a nostalgia thing. Like being a kid, being at a campfire with like my grandpa, or like going on a camping trip. I don't know. Like making a s'more was like exciting. Melted chocolate. I like chocolate though. Full disclosure, with like a roasted marshmallow, and I'm the guy that like burns the marshmallow. So when you said your son was burning the marshmallow and staring at it, like I laughed because I was like, yeah, I do the same thing. But I actually like to eat burnt marshmallows. I'm probably a weirdo. Like I know a lot of people out there probably don't do that. I will literally like light it on fire and stare at it, just like your son, and then eventually it'll burn out, and then I'll put it on a graham cracker and eat that shit.
No,
just say
not for me.
What else we got? Let's do
I
some
don't know,
more.
You had a list.
Let's do some more of these.
Did you have a whole list?
I have a whole fucking list.
You just asked me inside if we had anything. Did you just come up with those about 20 minutes ago?
I did. I was just writing shit down.
I can see his phone. I can't see what they say, but there's at least 25.
No, they're not that great though, so it's fine. All right, so let's start with it. It's almost Christmas. Flocked Christmas trees. Underrated, overrated, or properly rated?
Overrated. What a mess. Overrated. What a mess.
Totally fair.
Look good, but as far as dealing with it, now, to be fair, I am not a fan of real Christmas trees. Like I like when other people have them because I can go to your house and it smells great, but I would never want to deal with a Christmas tree. Also, being a firefighter, if it makes me like, I'm blanking on the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I feel that. You're triggered. It's a
yeah,
red
it's
flag.
just like I don't like it.
Yeah,
but I just what a pain in the ass that is.
When I was younger, I wanted a flock tree so bad, and as I've gotten older, like if you bring a flock tree in my house,
what a mess, man.
Like
a real tree. A real tree as it is already somewhat.
I vacuum.
Messy.
I vacuum like every day. Not every day, but
yeah,
like
you
every
got
other
a big
day.
ass tree in there too.
Yeah, I'm literally like we went to a tree farm. I don't know if you've ever done.
See, the idea of that is cool to me. Like but my father-in-law does a real tree, so I get to do that with my son for them. So I don't have. It's like I get to do the fun part of it without having to deal with the tree.
You know what the cool thing was? Like, so when I thought of a tree farm, my wife was like, "Hey, there's this tree farm," and I immediately was like, "Hell no." Because when I think of tree farms, I see the movies where like they go with their own saw and they like saw the damn thing down. Well, she was like, "Well, they cut it down for you," and I was like, "Oh, they cut it down for you? Like I don't have to cut it down?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, let's go."
What a wild idea that you would have to go and cut it down yourself.
I don't want to cut down my own damn tree. What am I, a freaking lumberjack?
This tree's gonna be $200. Just go ahead and cut it down yourself.
You know what the beauty was?
I know you didn't pay that much.
I did not spend that tree in there was $80.
Yeah, it's a big ass tree.
It's huge. It's like a 10-foot tree. $80. They cut it down for me. They drug it to the front for me. Put it in my truck for me. $80. Now I tipped. But you go to Home Depot or like one of the tree lots, you're spending like $220 on one of those trees. Yeah. On a tree that size. So go to a tree lot, dude. Or not a tree lot, but a tree farm. It's cheap. Anyways, let's do some more of these. These are fun. Zion Williamson.
Underrated.
100%.
Underrated.
100%. And I think Pels fans, it's a fine line because some Pels fans may. I don't even know if anybody overrates him right now because we don't know what he's gonna be.
I think the narrative nationally is starting to change. Like this little stretch, he's starting to get some love, for sure.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's interesting too because not to be a hot take guy, I'm not a hot take guy. I do throw some things out from time to time. Coming into this year, there was a lot of this is Brandon Ingram's team. This is Brandon Ingram's team. This is BI's team. BI this, BI that, and it. Listen, BI is a fucking dog. But the Zion we saw over the last week or so here, 2 weeks, and the Zion that was at Duke were the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's who you expected. And if that's the Zion you're going to continue to get, and he's going to continue to get better. Listen, I love Brandon Ingram, but
well, you know what it was for me? Not even so much his play, because I mean this was easily the best stretch he's ever
for sure
had. But we've seen him be great already. It was his personality came out finally.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I mean.
Because that's what did it for me. Like he was talking shit.
Yeah.
Like he was buying into the crowd. Like that's all it took. I think like B.I.'s a quiet guy, but when we would have big games, like he'd be on the court, like talking, and he had I think it was last year where he had was walking down the court like this is my city.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I love that, and that's
Yeah.
that's why we love Bi too, right? Because he was talking shit to LeBron. He called him Rick, like all these things, right? Which goes back to like when they're both together, like this could be nasty, but we're gonna see. But I agree. At the moment, underrated for sure. Who knows what he could be like?
Like it's so crazy. Like I don't think he's hit his peak yet at all.
He hit. I mean, you're starting to see him hit threes. Like
you're starting to see him turn a little corner on defense.
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah, he's playing defense. He's hitting threes.
He knows right now like nobody can stop him.
Yeah,
and that's
and that's the thing. Like he's buying into defense as well. Like he knows nobody can stop him on offense, and a lot of players do that, and they're like, that's just what they do. And then on defense, they're like they kind of check out.
Right.
That's not what he's doing.
No. Which
is awesome. I think it was the play. A lot of people were pointing to, obviously, the dunk at the end of the game. They were pointing to him. I think that, against the Suns, the first game, Jose set a screen, and he had that nasty dunk. And people are pointing to that play like, oh, he's a superstar. That wasn't I tweeted that, oh, Zion Williamson's a fucking superstar. That wasn't the play that made me do it. The play that made me do it, it was like a play later or 2 plays later. He had a defensive play where he shot somebody was passing the ball. He shot the ball, stole it, and went full court and slammed it. And I was like, oh.
It was a couple games before that for me where it's kind of the same thing where he went down, had a big bucket, then he gets the steal where he like slingshots the dude into the scorer's table.
Yeah.
And then he gets the dunk. I was like, all right, he's here. Like this is it.
Yeah, that was wild. Who did he throw into the table?
I don't remember.
It was a big name guy. I can't remember who it was right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's nasty. I can't wait to see where it goes. Like I'm so excited.